Hey guys, Dr. Della Parker here, coming at you from Stellar Health and Wellness. I just wanted to talk really quick about how everybody is sick right now and what to do about it. A lot of people in my family, friends, a lot of patients have been calling in sick. And the first thing I want to say is here at Stellar Health and Wellness, we use muscle testing to identify what is causing a problem in your system. So we would be able to identify whether you're struggling with a bacteria or a virus or maybe an allergy, and so then we can recommend the appropriate treatment for your body fighting that particular thing. What we've had a rash of recently is if patients calling to cancel their appointments because they're sick. And I think there's no better time to see your doctor than when you're sick, right? Because you want to feel better. So I want to just throw out a couple tips for everybody at home that might have friends or family struggling with that cold that's going around right now, or maybe it's yourself. So first of all, when we're sick, we get lazy and we want to eat crummy. And I get it. I've been there. Last week I was there. But you really want to make sure that you understand your immune system is struggling. And so sugar actually slows your immune system down even more and makes it harder to gobble up those viruses or bacteria or whatever is bothering your system. So if you can really cut it out on the sugar, your immune system has a much more of a fighting chance to get over whatever you're dealing with. So absolutely no sugar in the diet. That's the number one rule when you're sick, is you want to avoid sugar. Next is hydration. Same thing, we're laying around not feeling good, and we oftentimes don't think about drinking enough water because we're not really exerting ourselves. But drinking half your body weight in ounces, always super important, especially when you're sick. Like I said, it gives that highway of your immune system the fuel to run at its fastest pace and get things moving along. You've heard us talk about this before, but wet socks. Wet socks are so awesome, and they sound miserable. I promise you they're really not that bad. So when do you want to do wet socks? Well, in my house, anytime anybody is like, I think I might be fighting something, we whip out the wet socks to try to knock it out. If we forget about it because we get lazy and it's like, oh crap, you're already sick. Nasal congestion or that cough that keeps you up all night, those are two reasons that two things that wet socks are amazing for. Basically, this is what you do. You take a pair of regular cotton socks and cold water, wring them out, okay? For bed, you're going to put those on your feet. I know it sounds miserable, but it's after that initial like eek factor, it's really not so bad. So put those suckers on your feet and then cover it with just a thicker pair of dry socks. So when you Google how to do wet socks, it's going to say wool socks. And I know that several people have said, well, I don't have wool socks, so I just never did it. Well, who cares about wool socks? You need to just have a thicker pair of dry socks on top. It's basically just to hold the moisture in and prevent your bed from getting wet, really. So go to bed like that. And once they're on your feet and the dry socks are on the outside, really you don't even notice that you have them on. Your feet warm them up and it's not so bad. Most people wake up in the middle of the night, around 2 or 3 in the morning, and they find their feet are completely dry, their feet are really warm, and they kick off their socks, and that's fine. What happens is it draws your circulation down to warm up those socks, and so, like I said, that immune superhighway is moving really fast, so you've got immune fighter cells gobbling up those viruses and processing that so that your body can get better faster. Also, that pressure is just drawing out congestion from your lungs and from your sinuses. People feel a ton better in the morning just from wet socks alone. So I know it sounds crazy, but try it, okay? It really will help. And my kids, like, they love it. They ask for wet socks. So don't think that because it's like cold wet socks, your kids are going to be averse to it. Let them try it and make it sound really special and fun for them. And my daughter is like, I don't feel good. Can I get wet socks on tonight, Mommy? So great for kids. The other thing that really helps with that chronic cough that keeps you up all night long, like you can't sleep because you're just hacking things up, is putting Vicks on the bottom of your feet and then putting some socks on and go to bed. Those are two tricks that we use all the time in my house. My kids have asthma, both of them, so anytime they get a cold, it kind of goes straight to their lungs, and we're dealing with, okay, now they're not resting really well because they've got that chronic cough that keeps them up all night. So we do wet socks before bed, and sometimes what I find is 3 o'clock in the morning, they haven't been coughing at all, and then at 3 o'clock or so, the socks are dry, and now that cough is returning. And so instead of startling them awake with wet socks in the middle of the night, they're passed out, and I just take their socks off, slather on some Vicks on the bottom of their feet, and then cover it back up, and they don't even wake up, and then the cough is gone so that I can sleep and they can get better rest. So speaking of coughing, so don't forget about wet socks. There's a whole video that you can look at on our Facebook, which is just Facebook dash or whatever that is / Stellar HW, that Amy and I did demonstrating wet socks, and so you can check that out for sure. A couple other things people will say, do I take echinacea? Do I take more vitamin C? Do I take a glandular? What things are going to help support my system? And the answer is you need to get in here and get muscle tested, because your body is uniquely yours, and whatever virus or bacteria your body is fighting is also kind of uniquely your situation. You might not have the exact same thing as your best friend, and so you need different things to support your body in fighting that off. So when we do nutrition response testing, like I said, we can identify what type of buggy it is your body is fighting, and then what your body needs to fight that off. So I know you don't like to go places when you're sick, but if you really want to make sure you're taking the right dosage and the right product to really help your immune system mount up a response to whatever you're fighting, I would say go see your doctor that does muscle testing so they can get it right for you. You don't have to waste your time taking supplements that aren't going to be helpful. And like I said, sometimes you do need whatever you're taking, but maybe you're not taking enough for it really to have that therapeutic dose to get the result that you're looking for. So I just wanted to throw that out to everybody because I know a lot of people are struggling. A couple things that are kind of just go-tos for us in general are zinc lozenges, that sore throat stuff that's going around. Zinc is really helpful for immune function, and it's really soothing to sore throats. So get some zinc lozenges, have those around. Those are great. And then rest. So you want to, when you're sick, make sure you're resting. If you just keep trying to burn the candle at both ends, you're not giving your system really that chance to beef up that immune response. And I think lastly, I just want to mention that getting sick is kind of a bummer, but food for thought. Patients that say they never, ever get sick, it really makes me wonder, you never get sick. So being sick is basically your body's response to handling an invader, right? So that tells me that maybe your immune system is asleep, and invaders or things are going awry in your system, and your body's just not responding. And so I hate to say it, but those tend to be the patients that pop up with cancer because their immune system was asleep. It didn't notify them that something was going awry and didn't respond appropriately. So I think it is really healthy to get sick once or twice a year and mount those vigorous responses, whether it's that phlegm or fever. That's your body doing its job to get rid of these invaders. So try not to squash those symptoms with Dayquil or NyQuil. Let those symptoms do their job and just support your immune system with herbs or nutrition that it needs to function at its best to get rid of that invader. And then that's really supporting a super healthy immune system and a really healthy immune response so that when things go awry or they're invaders, your body can respond appropriately. So let your immune system do its job and just support that. Don't try to squash symptoms with different over-the-counter medications because that's not good for your body at all. Your system never learns how to mount that appropriate response, and a lot of times that virus or bacteria just lingers way longer because it's never actually getting eradicated by your system. So being sick sucks, but sometimes it's what you got to do to stay healthy. It's healthy to get sick. How about that? So any questions, I would love for you to comment below. I'd be happy to answer them if you have any specific questions. And make sure you smash that subscribe button like my daughter says. We've got videos coming out every week, different topics with lots of natural health information that can be useful for you, your family, your friends. So our YouTube is Stellar Health and Wellness, sorry. You can check us out on Instagram at Stellar Health Squad, and we'll check you out next time. Thanks so much.